Hey, it's Brandon and Coy David with Catalpa Apiary.
Hello.
Hey, we're here at the house today. We're going to do a quick hive check on the hives here. It's been almost 2 weeks since we've done a hive check here, so we want to do that and see how everything's going. Come along. All right, I got my suit on. One of the things I've just recently heard is that bees do not like an Apple Watch. And I did get stung the other day on this hand right beside the watch. And so I'm wondering if that actually, if there's any truth to that. So I'm gonna take my watch off and just see if that makes any difference whatsoever. All right, gonna get my gloves on. Coy David is actually not gonna suit up today. I think it's a little too hot for him. He's gonna stand back and just watch, right, buddy?
Yeah. I'm gonna be right here.
All right, so a lot of people use thicker gloves. I find it hard to use thicker gloves and actually feel, get a good feel. My dexterity is off whenever I don't have on these thinner gloves. Now, a bee can certainly sting you through these thinner gloves. In fact, that's what happened last time. I got stung. But again, I'm gonna try to not, try without my Apple Watch and see if that makes any difference whatsoever. I'm also gonna make sure that my gloves are underneath my sleeves. All right, so there we go. All gloved up, got my hood on, all zipped up. Let's take a look at the hive. All right, it's late in the day today. Probably a little later than I should be messing with them, but it's the only time that I have right now to actually do it. So. Bring you up a little closer. All right, so that's a different viewpoint than I think I've given you before, but it'll give you a good idea of what happens when I take off this inner cover.
And adults, don't let your kids get really close up to it without a suit. I've been messing with them for a few weeks, so I know when to stand back and be close.
All right, so see how things are looking here.
I can't wait for a vacation.
All right, so this is the top box again of the hive. We've got two boxes on this one. It'll be interesting to see after a couple of weeks what they've done in this hive. All right. All right, so this is one of the outer frames. Nothing much happening here, as you can see. I'm gonna move this smoke out of the way. So I don't know that I need it at this moment.
Those things are loud. What are they?
All right. Let's go a little deeper in. We're gonna go pretty quick today, again, because it's so late in the day. Let's see what we've got towards the middle here. From what I see right here, I'm thoroughly happy with what I'm seeing. There's a hive beetle, I think.
What's that?
First one I've seen. Hive beetles get in your hives and they can actually take over and kill your brood. So you definitely don't want them in your hive. Look at that.
That is a lot of food.
That is a full frame of honey. That's awesome. Wow. Just amazing.
You gonna show them the other side?
We're gonna go pretty quick, bud.
Okay.
It's getting dark on us.
So we're just gonna do one side?
Even though it is pretty dark and you know most of the bees are in their hive for the night, they are being really good. There's another frame, full frame of honey.
And how long have we had them for?
We have had this hive of bees since the 1st of May. So we are 2 months in right now, Coy David, with this hive. So again, I'm not going to take all the frames out of this one, but from what I can tell, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames full of honey, and they're continuing to work on the others. Some really good stuff. Go ahead and get this one back in. And let's pop this.
Oh, I forgot you're on the top layer.
Yeah, so there's, this thing's gonna be heavy. Oh Lord. Wow.
Oh wow, there is a lot of wax.
All right, so we'll set that frame down. Smoke them a little bit. Again, smoking them doesn't hurt them at all. It just calms them down and hopefully keeps us from hurting them and them from hurting us. So this frame here is just an empty frame. I don't see any. Oh, actually there are eggs and pupae in there, so that's a good frame there. Got eggs and pupae, that's good. So I want to see. I was getting a little bit concerned there for a second because I wasn't seeing any capped brood, but I think it's just that entire frame of brood. Smoke them again.
You guys, you will hear my voice only this time of the video because I will be riding my bike. So if you got questions, ask him. Bye.
All right, let's go to this next frame here. See what it looks like. All right, this is what I wanted to see. Lots and lots of cat brood there. Yeah, things are looking good there. And the same thing on this side. And that one looks good too. We're gonna make this a quick video because it's so late. Because we're kind of going into a dearth right now, I am gonna continue to feed these. And again, my main reason for feeding them is I want this colony to be really strong for the winter. You know, they're gonna have to go through an entire winter without nectar flow, without pollen, things like that. And so I want to give them as much as they can, or as much as I can, of food and resources, so that there's no concerns about them surviving the winter. And so what I'm putting in here is a combination of, just like every other time, a combination of sugar and water, a sugar water solution. Ooh. And we have lots of hive beetles in there. All right, so we're gonna take a quick detour here because I see a lot of hive beetles in this feeder frame. And I guess that may be a good thing that they're in the feeder frame and I'm not seeing any on the actual frames themselves. So I think that's a good thing, but I might have to do some research on that. First time I've actually seen hive beetles in my hives, which, you know, they're 2 months old now, or this one's 2 months old now. So it's probably about time that we deal with that. But I got to figure out the proper way to deal with that, especially with the feeder frame in place. Also, these bees are not happy with me right now. So we're going to quickly get them back in their hive. And put this box back on. There we go. Put our inner cover back on here. I always try to slide my covers on. I feel like that's the least risk of killing a bee. Regardless, it's a fact that you're going to kill some during an inspection. All right, we finished up our inspection. Whew, it's hot. All right, we finished up our inspection. And I guess the biggest thing that we figured out is that we've got some hive beetles that we're going to have to deal with. Now, I didn't see any of the hive beetles actually on any frames. I saw them in the frame feeder. So a frame feeder is, it looks almost like a frame, but it's open on the top and closed on the bottom. And you put sugar water in it. You saw me put sugar water in it. And that frame feeder basically gives the bees some sugar water so that they can continue to build out their comb, build out some supply of food for them for this winter. And so the hive beetles were actually down in that frame feeder, which I think that's probably a good thing because they're not on the actual frames themselves. But if I don't get them under control right now, they're going to take over my hive. Yeah, definitely something we're going to have to get our hands around and control before it becomes a problem. The other thing that I have got to do is invest in a breathable jacket because this one is not cutting it during the middle of summer.
I said I wouldn't be back in here, but I am. Goodbye.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up from here. Again, we talked about the hive beetles. That's something I'm gonna go research right now and try to figure out how I'm gonna handle that going forward. Hey, stay tuned because Corey David and I leave on a trip Thursday afternoon, and you're gonna have to follow along to see where we're going.
And we might bring you along in the car.
We might bring you along in the car,
The airplane.
the airplane.
And the airport when we get there.
Yeah. And then we'll kind of give you hints along the way as to where we're going. It's going to be a fun trip, isn't it?
And on Friday, we'll announce it.
Well, Friday, we'll actually show you where we are. And then our plan is to take you along while we're there. It's going to be a fun trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Signing off from Nashville today instead of the country. It's Brandon and Corey David with Catalpa Apiary. Have a good day.
Bye.